You meet your 13-year-old self, but you can only tell them 3 words. What do you say and why? Love Dad more. Edit, I don't ever check my Reddit notifications. I never expected this to blow up. My dad was diagnosed with cancer on my 13th birthday and passed away less than 3 months later. To everyone who is lost or is losing a parent, I'm sorry. You all know those words don't really do anything. But I am sorry. It's an awful thing to lose a parent. A word of advice. Remember everything. Don't make them out to be a saint. My dad was an angry guy, he fucked up sometimes, he snapped too fast, he made mistakes. But that didn't mean he didn't love me any less or that he wasn't a great dad. It means that he was human. Every mistake he made was a lesson for me then or a lesson for the future if I ever have my own kids. Appreciate the good and the bad. Because at the end of the day it's a memory you have. And if anyone ever needs to vent or talk or ask questions, then please reach out. My dad died 2 weeks ago tomorrow, and I did love my dad a lot. I'm almost 30 and have came to visit my family every other weekend for the past 4 or 5 years. It's best thing I could have done for myself and my heart right now. Last summer my dad said, "You're going to miss me when I'm gone," and I'm so glad I had the chance to say I sure will, Dad. Yes, Kimmie, California. My sister wanted to move to California near where I was living. My life was really complicated at the time and I really discouraged it. My marriage was a mess and I was afraid it would make it worse. She stayed where she was. About a year later she was killed by a drunk driver. My marriage ended. I would do literally anything to still have my sister here. I'm so sorry for your loss. I understand how you must feel responsible for her death. There's no telling what would have happened if she had moved to California though. In a parallel universe, maybe she did move near you and was killed by a drunk driver there, and you feel responsible for her death because you didn't stop her from moving. It wasn't anyone's fault except for that driver. I hope you can eventually find peace and feel less guilt, even though that's easier said than done. Stay off ATVs. Rolled a 4-wheeler when I was 16. Left leg has never been the same. I work in a pediatric operating room in an area where ATVs are popular. Anytime the weather is nice and the kids are out of school, the number of add-on surgeries we have for ATV injuries is mind-boggling. 4-year-old, shattered femur, ATV rollover. 8-year-old, broken left arm, ATV rollover. 13-year-old, ATV ejection, emergency cranie. Shattered pelvis, degloving of the leg, brain bleeds, punctured lungs. On and on and on. So much agony. So many kids. It's easily the #1 cause of emergent surgery we do. In my book, putting a kid on an ATV is about the same as giving an infant a loaded gun for a pacifier. I'm really only replying to you because I hope at least one person will read this thread, change their mind, and keep a kid out of the or/morgue. Hug Dad more. I feel that holy shit. Here's what I'd do. First I'd show him my college ID pic that I took at 18 years old. I'm 23 now, so the image looks enough like me and him for him to understand and believe who I am. Then I'd shout slowly but as loud as I can, "Dad, PanCan 2017." Hopefully he'd look up what PanCan is, and see that it refers to pancreatic cancer. 2017 is the year he got diagnosed with stage 4, he died 2 years later, but if we had checked even earlier we might have detected it sooner and at a smaller stage, he may have survived. I was 13 in 2012, so I'd have 5 years to make a difference. Hope I was smart enough at 13 where if this scenario had occurred I could have done something about it. If not, well, at least I'd know how much time I had left with him. Definitely could have appreciated him more, he was the best dad in the goddamn world. Edit. Teresa PanCan walk occurring in multiple cities across the US next Saturday, April 30th. You don't even have to walk, you can just donate to PanCan. Org if you're so inclined. Thanks for all the upvotes and awards. That's what made me angriest about my dad getting pancreatic cancer. It wasn't up until right at the end that there were signs. My dad apparently had known the year before, but they discovered he was already terminal. So he quietly kept it to himself and was fine for a whole year, and then one day he was on the floor screaming in agony and vomiting up blood, and less than 2 months later he was gone. You can't even have the fantasy of what if we saw the signs earlier because there practically are none. He gave me gifts that didn't make any sense or that my brothers would have liked. I would often just open it and give it to them. 3 Christmases in a row he got me the same dictionary. Guess who sucked at spelling? My dad. I got a broken necklace once and when I asked him to exchange it, it was new. For one that wasn't broke he screamed at me for being ungrateful. He gave me his used stuff he didn't want for my birthday, that he had openly been using, plus why would I want something a 40-something-year-old man wants? I was never excited for my birthday or Christmas because it was always loud and clear that he did this on purpose. My brothers always got great gifts. If I ever complained, then he would full blast scream and go off on me for being an ingrate. Get brother help. Edit. Hey all, I just want to say how touched I am by all of the replies to this. 3 words brought so many people together. That is amazing if you think about it. 3 words. Many interpretations, all revolving around a similar state of mind. I just want to add 3 more words and a gesture I think about daily when I think of my brother. I love you. Hug. Use these with family and friends as much as you can. Tomorrow can be too late. This. My brother isn't even 21 and he's sitting in prison. Lost friends, they were killed. He doesn't speak to my mom, dad, or our stepdad. I'm all he's got. I carry a lot of guilt and feel so small, it's a lot for me sometimes. I truly hope you're doing okay. If you'd ever like to talk, DM me. Edit. Wow. I'm out of words. I didn't think people would even see my comment to start off. I'm overwhelmed with the amount of you showing love and being so kind. I've never experienced this, Earl, when I talk about my brother doing time. Some of y'all can relate and it does break my heart, but I feel less alone. I'm so appreciative to everyone who commented. I will keep those words in mind always. Sorry if I didn't get to reply to you, there's many comments and I lost track. Anyone who needs someone can always DM and vent. I wish I could say I'd phrase out investing in Bitcoin like others, but ultimately I'd tell myself, Floor, call 911. My mom was asleep on the couch when I was 16. I woke up in the middle of the night and she had fallen off the couch and onto the floor. I woke my sister up and we thought nothing of it, so we helped her back up and she fell back to sleep. My sister woke up at like 7 a.m. and my mom was essentially unresponsive on the couch, pulse, etc., but unresponsive. Turns out she had a stroke in her sleep due to an aneurysm. She was paralyzed on the entire left side of her body and had to relearn basically everything from scratch. Her life was never the same and she suffered from a myriad of health issues for the next 25 years of her life and ultimately succumbed to cancer 2 years ago. While it's not about me, my life essentially completely changed from that moment forward and has shaped who I am today, spiteful, vengeful, complete nutcase, etc. Anyways, I'd try and tell my younger self to call 911 and maybe things would be different for her. Edit. Holy crap everyone, thanks for all the love, awards, comments, etc. you lovable internet strangers. Didn't think my comment would get so much attention. I'm so sorry for all those that have or are experiencing things of the same nature. While there is the logical side of my brain that understands that even going back to that moment, even calling 911 wouldn't make much of a difference, but there's always going to be that illogical side of my brain that refuses to believe any of that and will always blame myself, hence heaps and loads and years of therapy, etc. But again, I thank you all for the love. This is the most upvotes I've ever received. I'm framing it.